The archipelago, the arc of sensations and feelings. In a special location of the archipelago, 24 deserted islands, 6 rocks, and a big inhabited island make up a magic group of isles. Little dots on the map. Shards of a far distant beauty upon the waves. Tricks of the light, of the wind and of the water that once, a long time ago, took shape and became alive, the islands of Lipsi. An attractive place which moves everyone. The islands are located on the north part of the Dodecanese group, between the coast of Asia Minor and the islands of Cyclades, Patmos, Leros and Kalymnos. The islands of Lipsi compose a multivaried landscape with hidden treasures just about to be discovered by you.
Μόλις 21 τετραγωνικά χιλιόμετρα είναι η συνολική έκταση του πολυνήσου των Λειψών. Αλλά οι αναλλαγές του τοπίου είναι τόσο συγκλονιστικές που το μόνο σίγουρο είναι ότι δεν πρόκειται να πλήξει ποτέ κανένας επισκέπτης του.
Lipsi is a long or a short time destination for loners or sociable people, for families, for groups of friends, for nature lovers, fanatic hikers, for obsessive travelers, path explorers, for religious people. Swimming in crystal clear waters, spearfishing in clear seas, boat rides to uninhabited rock islets, small churches nested in the waves telling us stories. A virgin nature that changes colors from season to season, remaining always seductive and interesting. The beautiful sight of the Hora in Lipsi uncovers itself. You can see it from afar, coming from sea, while in the midst of the morning, the dome of St. John Theologus welcomes you. The islands of Lipsi welcome you. They don't have to pretend for being something special, simply because they are special. They have colors, aromas, history of centuries, but also a powerful present.
Άκου τη μελωδία της θάλασσας. Δες τον πολιτιστικό πλούτο. Γεύσου την τοπική γαστρονομία. Άγγιξε τις καρδιές των ανθρώπων. Νιώσε πως τη βρίσκεσαι στους Λειψούς.
Due to its beautiful location and architecture, Chora, the main town, the one and only settlement of the Lipsi, impresses and captivates the visitor from the first moment. Despite the great growth of tourism in Lipsi, occurred during the last few years, the settlement preserves untouchable its character and its traditional look.
Άσπρη πέτρα ξεξασπρή και από τον ήλιο ξεξασπρότερη.
In Greece, among the most beautiful traditional sites is seen the register mark of the white color covering the island's main towns. White color has the property of reflecting 80% of the sunlight. By painting your house white, you save money and you add years of life to the planet, since you are not increasing the temperature, which contributes to the planet's death. In other words, white equals life. And naturally, the ancestor of the present islander had never thought that one day his eagerly whitewashed walls, in order to make his place look sparkling clean and neat, would be rewarded by a Nobel scientist of the 20th century. The snow-white houses in the Chora of Lipsi shine in the sunlight. They are lined up in a sophisticated and neat way within a network of paved, meandering narrow streets, which begin at the main upper square. That's where the municipal building is, along with the traditional coffee shops, the impressive Church of St. John, and the Nikiforio Museum of Religion, where artifacts found scattered throughout the island have been housed. Many of the artifacts are of important archaeological value. Besides the religious treasures, the museum exhibits artifacts of folklore interest. According to tradition, founder of the Lipsi Chora was old Leos, a Cretan who settled with his family in a cave just over the beach of Liedou, and later he built his house at the site where the museum is presently located. Life in the Chora of Lipsi finds itself in the coffee shops, the tavernas, the small bars, in the main market, where you can purchase all sorts of folk art, such as embroidery pieces, pottery, woodworks, and other souvenirs. Life in the Chora of Lipsi finds itself in the verandas and the courtyards, full of honeysuckle, bougainvilleas and jasmines, along the everlasting morning coffees. Or drinking ouzo, overlooking the Aegean in the sunset. Life in the Chora of Lipsi finds itself around the big leeward port, where the fleet of kaikis, fishing boats and yachts compose a wonderful, relaxing spectacle. An old advertisement urged us to put some color in our lives. The islands of Lipsi add color to our vacations. The islands of Lipsi invite us to live a fairy tale, a dream which will be embedded in our memory forever. This island is much different even when it comes to its beaches. Forget about the sandy beaches with the umbrellas and the noisy beach bars. The beaches of Lipsi may be sandy or with pebbles or sometimes rocky. But in all cases they are impressive for their virgin natural beauty. Purple and turquoise, calm seas resembling just like lagoons, protected bays with crystal clear waters. The nearest beaches to the core of Lipsi are Liendu and Cambus, where most people go. There some kids build sandcastles. Others play in the shallow waters, and some gather seashells in their little buckets.
Μια πάπια, μια πάπια με παπιά, μια πάπια με παπιά, μια πάπια με παπιά.
In the northeast coast lies the beach of Platigelos, a great sandy beach surrounded by skinus plants, cedars and olive trees. Swim in Platigelos among ducks and geese and enjoy the delicious seafood.
Γεια, είμαι η Ζέλντα, είμαι από Ιταλία, από Πάρβα. Είμαι στο Λειψì, είναι πάρα πολύ ωραία νησί, έχει φοβερό θάλασσα, πολύ καθαρό και έχει πολλά ψάρι και όλα.
Katsadia in the south of the island is another beautiful sandy beach, where the warm sea breeze brings the aroma and the resin from the pine trees and the wild cypress trees, while the music of the cicadas comforts your ears. In Katsadia, after you have experienced the everlasting heat of the Mediterranean sun, you have the chance to quench your thirst and taste unique tidbits, enjoying a dreamlike view. South of Katsadia, there is a sandy and exotic Papandria. Where you can not only see the Isle of Lyra, but you can get to it by swimming. A bit to the east, the pebbly beach of Choklakura impresses us with the flat rock formation and its sea caves. Along with the crystal clear waters, Choklakura becomes a unique site full of strength and at the same time full of peace. Monodendry, Fontana, Xerokambos, Turcomnima, Korakia, and Camares are the most distant and remote beaches. The uniqueness of their landscape makes your trip worthwhile. Worthy visiting are also the quiet beaches of Bougui, Lalaouni, Limni, Mikro Mersini, Megalo Mersini, and Kisidia. In the western edge of the island, there is the beach of Saint Theologos and the beach of Moschato. If there is time available, with a simple propelled boat, on a leeward day, make the round of the Lipsi island. This experience will be unforgettable, and you'll be surprised by the variety of the altering views of bays and capes. The uninhabited small islands of Lipsi are asking for your time as well. There you will see falcons eleonore, sea crows, yellow-legged gulls. Many insects and reptiles. But you will also see dolphins and sea turtles. The little islands of Lipsi are pasture lands for wild goats, and they are plentiful of nests and rare seabirds. The rich fauna and flora of the islands have made them subjects of many researches in progress. Many of the islets can be visited with tour boats, which do daily excursions from the island of Lipsi. They also constitute an indispensable stopover for many yachts during the summer season. From Frago and Caparonisi, and from the south to the North Aspronesia, views of an amazing and at the same time of a wild beauty are replaced by moonlight beaches. Take a dip in the deep turquoise waters at the naturally formed swimming pool of Macronisi and just feel the Aegean running in your veins.
Αχι Λειψη κι αγαθό νησί, εκεί στην άκρη του Θεού, ο νους μου τρέχει για να αφήσει τις μελωδίες του ουρανού.
Το σπάνιας ομορφιάς φυσικό περιβάλλον τους, με τις πεντακάθαρες παραλίες, ο λαμπρός τους ήλιος, η ζεστή φιλοξενία, η άριστη τουριστική υποδομή, οι μονοήμερες εκδρομές στα μικρά νησάκια του Πολύνησου των Λειψών, αλλά και στα γειτονικά νησιά του Πολύνησου των Αρκιών και το Μαράθι, κατατάσσουν πλέον τους Λειψούς στους αγαπημένους μας προορισμούς.
Strolling around the hills of Lipsi, the aromas emitted from the sage, the oregano, the ripe olives, the skinus, the sea lilies, and the so many more wild aromatic bushes make you walk comfortable with ease, in good spirits. While walking around Lipsi, you enjoy views of an amazing and wild beauty. The pitch black rocks turn into rich green landscapes.
Η Λειψη είναι μια ξεχωριστή αιγιοπελαγητική γωνιά. Είναι μια μεγάλη αγκαλιά. Ένα πραγματικό αμφολητικό. Ήρθαμε στους Λειψούς και βρήκαμε ανθρώπους ολοκληρωμένους, άρτιους και ακομπλεξάριστους.
Ravines, small green valleys, vineyards, olive trees, fig trees. Everywhere you can see well-taken care gardens.
Hi guys, this is a beautiful full of keeper.
And a bundle of domesticated animals, cows and sheep, poultry, horses, mules and donkeys that still carry the loads going up steep paths. Small forests full of island cedar trees will impress you. While you walk, you can feel the roots of the cedar branching out, and just like snakes, they head for the thyme bushes and skinus, or they submerge deep into the sand, searching for humidity. Everything here summons you to the game of exploration that you don't want to ever end. Exciting paths leading to white farmhouses covered in bougainvilleas and grapevines. The sole windmill of Lipsi is expecting you, located graciously at the highest point of Hora. The cobblestone path on the widest area of the Fontana Bay leading up to Pano Panagia becomes favorite route to many hikers. Lipsi is a passable outdoors museum with beautiful farmhouses, well-maintained threshing places, cisterns for the collection of the rainwater, fences made up of stones and furnaces. The small size of the island, the mild morphology of the land, and the variety of all these structures compose a very special environment which makes the island ideal for walks all year round. When you get to know Lipsi, it is certain that you'll love it, just like they did a few travelers who came here on vacation but forgot to leave and permanently remain.
Έφτασα από την Ιταλία στους Λειψούς από πολλά χρόνια και μου αρέσει πάρα πολύ. Είμαι ερωτισμένη των Λειψών. Περπατάω στους Λειψούς, ακούω μουσική της Άρεας. Όταν φυσάει μου αρέσει πάρα πολύ και μυρίζω ευωδία των πεύκων και μένω εδώ. Βρίσκω την ησυχία. Η θάλασσα είναι καθαρή και κολύμπο και μου αρέσει πάρα πολύ.
Σε μια ρόκα που στα φύλλη έπεσαν 8 σπουργίτες και τρογόπιναν οι φύλλοι. Τσίρι τύρι τσιριτρό, τσιριτρί τσιριτρό. Εχτυπούσαν τις μύτες και κουνούσαν τις ουρές και είχαν γέλια και χαρές. Τσίρι τύρι τσιριτρό, τσιριτρί τσιριτρό.
God Dionysus blessed the island of Lipsi and taught the islanders how to plant vines and make wine. The wine is of the most prestigious and popular products of the island. Because it has always been so sweet in taste, it traveled all the way to the Vatican to be used for the Holy Communion. Made of Okiano grape, which is left in the sun before pressed, it gives a deep red sweet wine. The supreme quality of the Lipsi wine always brings out admiration and good compliments.
Το λειψιωτικό κρασί μπορεί να συνδεύσει όλα τα πιάτα, από κρέατα μέχρι πλούσια λίπαρα ψάρια στα κάρβουνα. Στη μύτη ανοίγει ένα μπουκέτο αρωματών και στο στόμα είναι πλούσιο με γεμάτη γεύση, λιπαρότητα, πολύ καλή οξύτητα και γοητευτική γλύκα.
The Lipsi people celebrate with wine their joy and also soften and forget their problems. Every August, the wine festival lasts for 3 days, and the Lipsi wine, with a long and important tradition, is brought forward. Lipsi is a culinary paradise waiting to introduce you to a totally attractive journey in taste. The heart of their cuisine, which is thought to be one of the worthy representatives of the Mediterranean diet, beats somewhere between the well-known salted fish, the local cheeses, and the exquisite wine. But this is a game of the palate which is endless. So enjoy in the tavernas and restaurants dishes that in other localities of Greece have been forgotten since the invasion of the touristy cuisine. The people of Lipsi make use of all the products of their land in order to create a very special and rich in imagination delicacies. So taste wild goat stuffed with liver, raisins and pine nuts, zucchini flower tops filled with rice, meatballs with ouzo and cumin, hen stuffed with rice and liver, wild radishes, boiled cabbage, stuffed grape leaves, fried pies, pea burgers and pitaroudia. While in some tavernas you'll even find fresh eggs from a free hen. We also have to comment on the local bread baked with sweet-smelling nutmeg, mastic and anise, and even the fragrant cheese pie. The quality of the fish is extremely high due to the climatic conditions and the richness of the sea in its natural resources. Crowfish, shrimps, crabs, scallops, peanuts, oysters, blowfish, grilled fish wonderfully smelling, grilled octopuses that only a while ago were hanging on the line. So if you love seafood and fresh fish, enjoy yourselves with a sea urchin salad, kakavia fish soup, lobster pasta, and make your palate go wild. Local sweets are the pougakia, the cylinder-shaped fried pancakes covered in local thyme honey. The almond sweets, the famous patsavuropita, and the variety of sweets may well go with your artistry-made Greek coffee in one of the picturesque coffee shops of the central square of the village or the port.
Η Λειψη είναι ένα ήσυχο νησί που βρίσκεται ακόμα έξω από το μεγάλο τουριστικό ρεύμα. Γι' αυτό και είναι ιδεώδης τόπος για κάποιον που θέλει να περάσει ήρεμες διακοπές και να χαρεί τον ήλιο, τη θάλασσα, τις γαστρονομικές απολαύσεις και τη συντροφιά των φιλόξενων κατοίκων του νησιού. Συγκεντρώνει την αγάπη και το θαυμασμό ανθρώπων από πολλά μέρη του κόσμου. Και η απόδειξη γι' αυτό είναι το γεγονός ότι μεγάλος αριθμός των επισκεπτών του έρχεται κάθε καλοκαίρι, ενώ πολλοί από αυτούς το επιλέγουν για μόνιμη κατοίκηση. Επίσης μεγάλη είναι και η αγάπη των ίδιων των κατοίκων για το νησί μας. Γι' αυτό τα τελευταία χρόνια παρατηρείται το φαινόμενο της σταθερής αύξησης του πληθυσμού, πάντα σε συνάρτηση και με την ανάπτυξη που έχει γνωρίσει ο τόπος μας. Εμείς ως Δημοτική Αρχή έχουμε θέσει ως στόχο να διαχειριστούμε με ορθολογικό τρόπο τους πόρους που διαθέτουμε και να δώσουμε τη δυνατότητα της συγκράτησης ακόμα περισσότερων νέων στο νησί μας, ανοίγοντας έτσι νέους επαγγελματικούς δρόμους μέσα από τα τοπικά μας προϊόντα και τον τουρισμό. Για να το πετύχουμε αυτό, θα πρέπει να διατηρήσουμε αναλύωτη την αισθητική του νησιού και να αναδείξουμε τα συγκριτικά πλεονεκτήματά του, που είναι η παρθένα ακτογραμμή, η ασύγκριτη παραδοσιακή κουζίνα και η μαγεία του μοναδικού λειψιώτικου τοπίου.
Lipsi traveled through the centuries. Each ancient name was Lepsia, as we know from records found on the island. Plinius mentions the island as Lepsia. Lepsia or Lipsia was inhabited during the end of the Neolithic Age, early Bronze Age, 4th to 3rd millennium BC, knowing this from pottery that came from Castro, Agios Nikolaos, and the site of Liendou. The first inhabitants of the islands were Cares. Then came the Dorians, and finally the Ionians from Miletus settled. The geographic location of the island determined its route in history, connecting it to Miletus. The political relation with Miletus during the Hellenistic period can be found in voting tablets of the island, in which the Milesians living in Lepsia are mentioned. The most important monument of Lipsi is the Castro, on the hill that rises up near the Hora of Lipsi, southeast of Tarsana. This is where the ancient necropolis was situated, of which only ruins of the ancient walls survive, along with the bastion, the gate and the caulked parapets. On the south side of the hill, outside the fortification walls, traces of terraces and plenty of ceramic ware testify the existence of an ancient settlement. The most important temple in Lipsi and site of offering the votes was of Apollo Lepsius. Its location can be placed at the site of Agios Nikolaos Chapel. The entire area from Agios Nikolaos to Panagia of Kousselio is full of ceramic vessel shards, dating from the prehistoric age to the early Christian period. There are also architectural elements and buildings. Amongst them, there is a four-cornered building structure of the late antiquity. At Agios Nikolaos location, a corner piece from the cornice of an altar of Milesian type was found, decorated with oval spirals and flowers made of white marble of a good craftsmanship, dating to the middle of the 5th century BC. A similar marble corner piece is kept in an old altar of the holy monastery of Patmos. In ancient Lepsia, besides the official worship of god Apollo, there was the worship of Dionysus as well as of Apollo Didymeus and Aphrodite. The myth which relates the goddess to Orion still remains alive. In small altars from the ancient necropolis, dedicated inscriptions refer to Zeus and Artemis the Savior. However, life in Lipsi never stopped. It continued intensely into the following years, so Christian temples were erected to replace the ancient ones.
Τα ευρήματα που προκύπτουν από την ανασκαφή που διενεργείται στους Λειψούς, η οποία είναι και η πρώτη που λαμβάνει η χώρα στο νησί, χρονολογούνται στον 6ο με 7ο αιώνα μετά Χριστόν. Είναι μια περίοδος ιδιαίτερα σκοτεινή, η ύστερη αρχαιότητα και η μετάβαση προς τον Μεσαίωνα, για την οποία οι φιλολογικές πηγές σιωπούν και μόνο τα αρχαιολογικά ευρήματα μπορούν να μας πούν κάτι για την περίοδο αυτή στο συγκεκριμένο χώρο. Αυτό που έχει αποκαλυφθεί μέχρι στιγμής στην ανασκαφή εδώ είναι ένα κεραμικό εργαστήριο και τα κτίρια των εγκαταστάσεών του. Η θέση του οικοπαίδου είναι επίσης σημαντική, καθώς αυτό βρίσκεται δίπλα στη θάλασσα, γιατί μια τέτοια εγκατάσταση βιοτεχνική υποδηλώνει πως η παραγωγή των Αγίων που γινόταν εδώ έπρεπε να είναι κοντά στη θάλασσα για τη μεταφόρτωσή τους και μετά τη μεταπόλησή τους στο νησί της Σάμου και στις μεγάλες πόλεις της Μικράς Ασίας που ήταν ήδη ακμές την περίοδο εκείνη.
The churches and chapels of Lipsi, from the retreats of Pano and Kato Kimisi to the Church of the Five Saint Martyrs and the Church of St. Constantine in Platigelos, remain always in excellent condition, expressing the deep religious feelings of the inhabitants. Wherever you look, you will see small blue domes with small bell towers.
Μπορεί ο Λειψιώτης να είναι πάμπτωχος. Όταν όμως του σφινωθεί στο μυαλό να χτίσει εκκλησάκι, θα στερηθεί το ψωμί του για να το χτίσει.
There is no hillside or hillock without at least 2 or 3 white chapels. The religious feelings of the inhabitants reaches its peak when they talk about the Virgin of Death, who celebrates on August 23rd.
Κατέβα απ' το θρόνι σου και είδες για σε πως χαίρεται το όμορφο νησί σου. Δίνε υγεία σε όλους μας, κύρα μου μαυροφόρα. το νησάκι μας από τη κάθε πόρα. Φύλαε το παιδάκι μου που είναι ξενιτεμένο, κύρα του χάρου που κρατάς το γιο σου σταυρωμένο.
In the 1600s, monks of the monastery of Patmos built a basilica with 3 aisles and a dome, where the icon of the Virgin is very original. The Virgin, instead of holding the Holy Infant in her arms, she is holding him on the crucifix. Since the meanings of the words dead and death are related, the icon of the church took the name of the Virgin of Death. During the days of the German occupation in April 1943, a religious young woman placed on the icon of the Virgin a few lilies. Naturally, they dried and were left dry on the icon for some months. But when the celebration day approached, strangely enough, the lilies started turning green, and on the same day of the festival, they produced many buds. This miracle repeats itself every year in the same supernatural way. During the celebration day, many devotees from all around Greece gather, and there will be no Lipsian living away who will not return to his island to celebrate the day and honor his Virgin. All the worshippers, after the Vesper service, they return to the village. They pour ashore and to the 2 main squares of the village and start the festivities which last for 24 hours. Traditional bands and dancers take the lead. The islands of Lipsi exert an endless attraction upon the visitors. From the first days of your staying here, you'll feel like if you were one of the inhabitants, and you'll become friends with the locals. The population of Lipsi numbers 700 people, among them 140 children and adolescents. They live here because they love their land. They struggle with a smile and gallantry, making a living with their fishing boats, their melon patches, their vineyards, their sheep and goats, and their stockyards.
Ο πολιτισμός των Λειψών είναι οι άνθρωποι του. Είναι άνθρωποι απλοί και καλοσυνάτοι, με χαμόγελο και μεγάλη καρδιά.
The very well-organized transportation network of the island has regular schedules to all directions, while taxis are available on a 24-hour basis. There are ferries to Lipsi from Piraeus twice a week. The rest of the days, you'll not have a difficulty reaching the island on local boats and high speeds from the neighboring islands of Patmos, Leros and Kalymnos, which have daily boat connection from Piraeus. A regular connection exists also with the bigger islands of Dodecanese, Kos and Rhodes. Every summer there is a rich cultural program with great music and theatrical performances entertaining the locals and the visitors. The island of Lipsi, along with the smaller islands of the group, seem to be traveling like dolphins in the clear waters of the East Aegean, where the West meets the East. Lipsi, bathed in the light of the sun, the ancient god, is the land blessed by nature, created for the human standards. It is not by chance that Lipsi is thought to be one of the candidates for the location of the island of Calypso, who put a spell on Ulysses on his way back to Ithaca.
Ό,τι έχω μάθει να αγαπώ, μαζί σου να τα μοιραστώ κι όπου μας βγάλει. Τραγούδια αγάπης να σου πω και μες στα λόγια να πιαστώ κι όλα να αρχίσουν πάλι, κι όλα να αρχίσουν πάλι.